Yo, what is going on, my dudes? It's your host, LamarStaysWeird, coming to you once again with another podcast. Finally, and I feel like I say this every fucking time, bro, but finally, it's just been a minute. I've been trying to work up this stuff, and obviously, things seem a little bit different, and that's mainly because I've been trying to work with more retro tech because I want to change the look and the feel of everything. I want something to be more genuine towards like the looks that I like to go for. So that's what I've been working with, and guys, trying to mess with retro tech nowadays and trying to mix it with, modern tech, it gets a little pricey and it does get like a little challenging. And I'm not a know-it-all, electronic person. So there are some things I just couldn't figure out. I had to take time, spend money, wait to get this, wait to get that. So many things. But we're here now, and I'm really glad because holy shit, I've been waiting to get back to this, and I hope it looks awesome. I hope you guys dig it. I dig it. This is just what I'm going to be doing, but that's only for like the video listeners and people on YouTube and places like that. You're going to see that difference, but other than that, nobody else is really going to know. Same sound quality and everything still staying the same. I've been cleaning out my garage, and that's where I found my old childhood camcorder, and it's kind of like belongs to my family. I don't think it's necessarily mine, but we have tapes from like everyone, but it was in my possession. And I found it, and then I had the bright idea, yo, let me see if I could get this to work. And it did. It took me some time, a lot of trial and error, and then, of course, finding some old tapes, messing around with that, too. So it's been a good time, and then I've just been busy with my girlfriend and family, just events and stuff. So it's just been getting prolonged. But I did have another episode in the chamber I was about to do, but we had other plans come up, and then I wanted to actually talk about a different movie. And I've talked about it before on the podcast, but that was earlier in my shitty episodes. So if you guys enjoy those, I appreciate it. But this is a movie I really wanted to like cover again. And obviously by the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about Scream 4. Now, I love this movie so much. It is really up there compared to the original, and I love the original. Don't get me wrong. It is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's one of my top 4 movies of all time because I could rewatch the fuck out of that movie, no problem. I absolutely love it. And 4, I think, is an amazing sequel, and I wanted to talk about Scream and just like Ghostface in general because right now it's a hot topic with Scream 7 that just came out and everything, so it's just going to be a whole thing. And I will say, I will preface this, I have not seen Scream 7. I'm not even sure if I really want to because I was also supporting Melissa Barrera when she was fired from 6 she was fired from 7, but after 6 because of her views on Palestine. And, I stand with her. I completely agree with everything. And just the things I was hearing about what this movie was going to be, because a lot of things were getting leaked, I was like, dude, this does not sound good. And I don't want to like spoil it for anybody like too much, but it's kind of just everywhere is talking about it. It's kind of hard to avoid this topic. But there is AI involved, and it's part of the plot, which is so weird. And for a lot of people, it really missed the mark. Nobody's really digging the killer reveals from everything I could see. People even say the movie's great up until the killer reveal. A lot of people hate the killer reveal, and after hearing about it, I completely get why, because I wasn't gonna watch it, so I just listened to like a breakdown, and yep, it sounds about right. I don't think that's something I would have liked. I mean, I barely liked 5 and 6. 6 is dope. I didn't really care for 5. I really didn't. But 6 I did enjoy, but I obviously did have some issues with it. But, I digress. But I absolutely adore 4. I watched it last night with my girlfriend. We were supposed to watch it with some friends, but we got busy over the weekend. I just want to give a bit of a life update. So this past weekend, we had Scaradise in Tampa, Florida. And if you guys are local to Florida or anything, it is a horror convention, but now it's become more of a pop culture. So you actually start to see like other fandoms and stuff like that really show up. I mean, we got wrestlers that come, we got some voice actors and stuff. So it's all over the place of what we actually get to see and like who's coming around. And we had that this weekend with some friends. So we went to Tampa, had an Airbnb, we were chilling. We went to the castle, really dope, like gothic club bar. Amazing. If you guys follow me on social media, you would have seen the clips and stuff there. If not, Instagram, LamarStaysWeird. That's where I'm most active on. I love my Instagram. I've been there since 2017 and I kind of stay that way. But our biggest thing that we were doing this weekend was we met, and this is going to be spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but this movie is like 15 years old. So, I mean, if you wanted to see it, you would have already seen it by now. But the killers, we actually met. We met Emma Roberts and Rory Culkin, and it was a blast. All right, that dude is handsome as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm rocking my sweater because I'm talking about Scream, and it reminds me a little bit of Stu's sweater from the original. But he was rocking some nice ass fucking sweaters. I even complimented him when I went and got an autograph. And he was so nice about it. Like he was like, "Oh, stop!" Like whenever my girlfriend and I were complimenting him and stuff. But he's a nice and handsome little short king. I appreciate. We met him. We met Emma Roberts. I didn't get to talk to her too much. My girlfriend got to say hi and stand next to her in the picture, which I actually have the frame picture right here. I want to show off because yeah, dude, I want to brag about like my memories and stuff. Like, look at that. I know the quality's not going to be the best, but, it's retro tech and it's the look I wanted to go for. But clearly, big fans. We met him. We got a Scream 4 poster signed, talked to him. We met David Arquette. Dope dude. He is so chill, and we actually got to talk to him. He signed my mask right there. I have Nev Campbell and Matthew Lillard who signed it. So I still want to get a few OGs. But honestly and truly, my unicorn to get to sign that mask is none other than Drew Barrymore. That would be. I want my Casey Becker, yo. Like, I would love to get her signature, but I feel like sadly that would never happen. But it'd be amazing. But in this household, obviously, we are very much Scream fans. We got a Scream, photo op with a lot of the originals. So we fucks with these people hardcore. We fucks with Scream in this house, and I love the movie. I love the killers. I love what it could mean and the meta-ness of everything. But there are a lot of the sequels I just don't like. I don't like 2. I don't like 3. 3 is funny and stupid. It's a little entertaining, yes. And it gets meta in a very different way. And that's where I feel like these movies operate completely differently. And when I say these movies, I'm meaning 1 and 4. Because 1 was a game changer. If I could go back in time and watch any movie for the first time and just get audience reactions in real time, it would be Scream. Because, dude, it's normal to us now for things to be meta, to know the rules and like the different motives and all that type of stuff and have multiple killers. That type of stuff's normal now. That wasn't back then. Scream was a major game changer, and I feel like people do tend to forget that because, horror has come a long way and has changed in so many different ways and went through phases and everything. And that movie really set that tone and put us on the path where we are now because of Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson, the things that they were coming up with. And 1 really honed in on that. And I think 4 did exactly that too. This was sadly Wes Craven's last movie. And I feel like, which RIP, my guy, great, supposedly a really great dude. Like, people at the panel, there was a Scream 4 panel and another Scream anniversary panel and a Scream 7 panel. This whole week was focused on Scream because, Scream's big this year because of Scream 7 and they're pushing the movie. Everybody had so many nice things to say about Wes, how he's the sweetest guy. And that's really awesome to hear because dude, you don't hear a whole lot of good things about people that are in Hollywood nowadays, but everyone sung his praises and definitely miss him. And I think he was a genius to capture 2 different decades completely different with these movies because the first one, like we said, it completely taught us everything we know about movies. We already knew them, but this was telling us, hey, These are rules. This is just how all this goes. And it had a great story. It had good killer motives. It had great characters, iconic characters that I don't think are going to go anywhere. And it's crazy because it's from the 90s, the 1900s, my guy. And I know I'm saying that. I'm feeling like a little old, but it's because I'm almost 30, dude. I'm turning 30 this year. So it's crazy to hear that movie is also going to be turning like 30 as well. So it's crazy, you know, and he captured that then because the 90s and the early 2000s was such a wild west of a time, especially because of just like how celebrity culture was back then and like pop culture. Everything was like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was so different back then and not to what we have now, but it was definitely a stepping stone to what we have now. But 2011's Scream 4 was it was ahead of its time. I definitely believe that because in the movie, the main motive, and this is where we're gonna get into the spoiler territory. I'm gonna be all over the place. You guys know I don't go by scripts anymore. Okay, I used to back in the day, and it was a little more polished. I think people did like it, but I want to do less editing and I want to be more real because this is a podcast other than me just constantly, you know, trying to do like stops and stays and all that. Every now and then you may see a cut where I fuck up my words and I'm going blah, 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 and I just got to fix something. Yeah, I'm going to do that from time to time. But for the most part, not really. This is all going to be a lot of oneers and we're just going to fucking wing it. We're fucking doing it live, baby. That's what we're going to be doing. We're doing it live. And what was I just talking about? See, this is what happens when I do it live. I tend to start forgetting shit. So the 2011 Scream was ahead of its time when it got to people wanting to be famous. People wanted to be like known, like online, and especially teenagers at that, because that was around the time where YouTube was really taking off. I don't remember if we had Vine around then. I really don't think so. I think Vine was a couple of years later. But to the extent that people would go to for fame is pretty gnarly. There's been so many cases of people, you know, trying to do stuff for clout and all that stuff nowadays, and whatever it comes betraying friends. People like me, I would technically count too. Like it cultivated a bunch of attention seekers, and it called it that people would just be attention seekers. The killer in this movie really states how what are they gonna do with their lives? They're gonna go to college, they're gonna go to work. Like, they don't want to do that. They want fans, not friends. And that hit the nail on the head. Nowadays, everybody, well, not everybody, but it is very common to just see people selling out their own people as well, just for fame. People spilling tea all the time when it's like, okay, these are people's personal business. And granted, some people eat it up like, oh yeah, we needed to know all about this and blah, 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 blah. We needed to know what person they are. My brother in Christ, everybody has made mistakes. Everybody has done some shit. Everybody has wronged somebody at some point. You were the bad guy in somebody's story at one point in your life. That's just how it is, okay? That's the way of the road, man. That's the road to Valhalla. And we got to come to terms with that. But back then, not everybody had cameras, platforms to just say and do everything. Granted, are there some people that should probably be exposed for the shit that they do? Definitely. Like, that's just how it is. But it's a two-way street. Some people do, some people don't. Some people have things like, okay, private lives are not, blah, 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 blah. See what I mean? I fuck up my words. Lives are not private anymore. They're not like how they used to be. And that's kind of sad, but it's how it is, man. You know, everybody is online, and I don't know where we're going to go further into the future because of AI. And I don't want to harp on AI too much. I don't like AI to an extent. There are different forms of AI, and it's I'm not talking about like Skynet or anything, but are we getting to those areas and just weird moments of like Cyberpunk 2077? Yes, because there's stories that Meta wants to use AI to keep profiles going after somebody like passes away or something like that. So it would use AI to mimic who you are. It would know your patterns, how you post, and just your language. It would know your digital self and just replicate that and keep going. That is crazy. Dead internet theory has already been a thing for a long time because the amount of bots that you see everywhere on like platforms, and there's nowhere that's an exception. There's bots on like every single social platform, and now they're coming for our souls, man. Johnny Silverhand like said it best. They wanted everything from us, and then now they're just coming after our souls. And so online, like after like I'm dead and gone, there's probably gonna be like an AI version of me spouting some bullshit. You know, it's crazy to think about, and it's weird that Scream 7 went in that route. And I know they were trying to be meta because AI is the thing, but holy airball, I think they completely missed the point of everything. I feel like they just don't know. And Wes had like an incredible set of ideas for like a trilogy that would have revolved around Jill. And I know I've kept from saying names because I tried not to be too spoilery. But yeah, so Jill Roberts is Sidney Prescott's younger cousin. She turns out to be one of the Ghostface killers because she just wants fame. She got so jealous of just hearing about Sydney all through her life, and they're kind of estranged. They don't really know each other like that, but they're family, so they love each other. And I think everybody can relate. There's plenty of family that I don't really know. You know, people I see at family events, I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? You know, we grew up together, but it's like, I don't know you and you don't know me. Like we don't know each other. There's people outside of my family who know me way better than you do, even to like a certain extent. You know, even some of my coworkers are people that I just talk to, but I'm not friends with. But it's because like, yeah, you probably know me more than those people. And that's just, you know, some family, that's just how it is, you know. But she definitely got that from her mother, because her mother has like a one-off line about how nobody asks about her scars and the stuff that she's been through. And because same thing, everybody talks about Sydney. Everybody talks about Sydney's mom as well because of the, you know, the murder that she went through and all that. So that obviously there's just some jealousy on that side of the family, and that's definitely where Jill got it from. So she was right about all that. So she just wanted fame. She just wanted to become Sydney. So she wanted to get rid of her. And I think that is an incredible motive. I think that's exactly how some people are. They want to kill or anything just to be famous. There's plenty of people who do that because, like I said, a bunch of attention seekers, man. That's all a lot of us are nowadays, you know? I know I post a lot of stuff online, and I do that because honestly, I forget a lot of things. So like my stories and Instagram posts and all that, those are for me, dog. I have very terrible memory, and I've talked about this before, you know, childhood trauma and all that stuff. A lot of shit in here is just black. It's just a lot of black spots. Finding this camcorder and seeing old footage and moments I don't even remember or anything is fucking crazy, because I'm watching these and it fucked me up for a little while. I wasn't doing too well when I found this camcorder and stuff. So watching these old childhood videos, I was having breakdowns at work, dude. Like it hasn't been great, and my girlfriend's had to talk me down a few times because I look at these things, I don't know who the fuck that kid is. I don't know that kid. And it's so crazy to me. And I don't know if that's just something like people do when they get older. Like if that's something other people experience. I don't know. I'm going through life for the first time, so I don't think about these things. But I have no idea who the fuck that kid is when I see him. So it's crazy to me. So that's why I post a lot of stuff online, because I have something I can remember. It is my equivalent of making like family, like home videos, or taking a bunch of pictures and having them developed and stuff and having them all over the walls. That's my version of that. I do all that for me. And if other people watch it, you know, I like seeing other people's lives as well, especially people I care about. I love keeping up with you guys and seeing what's going on. Cause yeah, we may not talk every day and stuff, and that's perfectly fine. You know, that's cool. Everything's copacetic, you know, but, it's the direction we went in, and especially the internet in the 2010s and how everybody was trying to hop on Vine and how people became popular, how YouTube, before YouTube even became like a big thing, and before like the term of like YouTubers and stuff like that, and YouTubers started to make money and actually become personalities, brands. That movie predates all of that, dude, and it's fucking crazy to think about. And that's insane. It predicted it very well. Wes really, you know, like saw the curve and he went with it, and he had a trilogy idea of like, I guess it was just an idea of like following Jill. And I saw recently, I don't know how it would have worked out with the ending. I don't know if she would have lived somehow, but there are rumors that, at least the next movie would have been about, I guess, like Jill going to college or something like that, and somebody knowing what she did and being a ghost face and killing other people around her, and she has to figure out who the ghost face is, I think, to also like clear her name and all this other stuff, and to where she can, because they're tormenting her for the shit that she did, they're trying to do the same thing she did. And I think that would have been cool. That would have been really fucking rad. And I don't know if we would have got Sydney anymore. But going back, I think this is the definitive sequel, like, to Scream. And I think anybody who wants to get into the franchise or anything, you only need 1 and 4. You can watch the other stuff for extra, lore and all that, but I just personally don't care for a lot of the movies. But 1 and 4 are top tier. They're peak. Okay. In 4, they're a lot more gruesome. The ghost face are very different. He's a bumbling idiot in the first one, but they're also like savage as well, and that's because you got the 2 different personalities of Stu Macher and Billy Loomis. You have those, so it's like you can kind of tell those differences. And in this one, I feel like a majority of the kills revolve around Rory, who is Charlie in the movie. So Rory Culkin is the second Ghostface, and he is brutal. He is a very weird kid, and I even got to talk to him and ask him, because I was curious, because I never knew that. I never knew like the details of like, oh, who's who's doing what during the movie and all that stuff. I never knew any of that. So whenever he was signing, I was like, man, how much time did you actually spend in costume? Like, just even on the set, because, we never see their face. So it's like, okay, like, is it just like a lot of stunt work, like stuntmen? Are you mainly just playing outside of the suit and stuff? And he said he got to play around a bit. And even during the panel, he talked about how he really he was hard on himself to make the character feel super weird, And he was saying how it's kind of like a uniform, Ghostface uniform. So when he was on that, he was like a soldier, and he did what had to be done. Like, he was a man on a mission. But outside of that, when he's doing stuff, when he's just in, regular clothes, when he's Charlie, he's very strung with guilt, and you can see it on his face, almost like he doesn't really want to do it. But I feel like that's mainly because he's hiding behind a mask, so it gives him that power that he can kind of just shield himself. But whenever he's doing stuff outside of it, he definitely can't. There's no running away from it. He has to own up to the things that he's done. He even looks away when he kills somebody he really did like, but I guess that did him wrong. It gives a little bit of incel behavior, not gonna lie. But yeah, he killed a girl that he was crushing on for like a long time, and I guess she just started to like him. And then he was like, bro, this is like too fucking late. Like, we went to school for like 4 years together, and now you care. Now you give a fuck. And then like stabs her. And he doesn't even look at her after he does it. That's kind of why she lives. And by she, I mean Kirby, which is Hayden Panettiere's character, which she's such a sweetheart, dude. She's so nice. She talked a lot during the panel, but she was so nice, and she's so tiny. Man, all of us were short. Okay, we're all short. When we walked into the photo area and we're just standing around, everybody is short, but like the boyfriend from 4, he's a little bit taller, but everyone else was just short. And it's so funny to me, because I'm still like the tallest 5'6" around, so it was like an honor to be around like other people that vary in sizes, because it was only one 5'6" there, and that's your boy. But we had a great time. We were talking to all of them as much as we could, in the short time. But rewatching it last night, it's one of those movies I just forget how good it is. Like, I know I've seen it plenty of times, but then when I watch it, I'm like, oh fuck, it's so good. And I feel like some of that is definitely because it's just my bad memory. I just tend to forget a lot, and I rewatch a movie and I feel like I'm watching it I feel like I'm watching every movie for like the second time, where it's like I kind of remember some things but not really, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm still surprised by some things. So That's how I feel, and that's what was going on. And it's just so good. The motive, the characters, the Ghostface kills, it was very different from Billy and Stu's Ghostface, because they were very brutal. They weren't like fumbling around a lot. Like, yeah, they missed some stabs and stuff here and there, but I feel like a lot of that was Charlie, and he was fucking brutal because he also wanted to be a part of Jill's little story, and he thought they were going to be together. They wanted to be the next, like, Sydney and Randy, Jamie Kennedy's character from the first one, because they both lived, to part two. And he thought they would be that and they would finally get the girl, but Jill was like, no, everybody likes a soul survivor, and so she kills him pretty brutally. Like, it's very like, wow. So I think this one's definitely more brutal and a step up from Scream 1. And even at the panel, the host was even talking about how some people actually even like Scream 4 more than the original. And part of me is kind of almost there. Like, they're right, like fucking right here, man. They're almost tip to tip. And it's a little tough. It definitely depends on how I feel, but I love Scream 4 so much, and I will always sing its praises. I don't know what happened with the box office and stuff back then, but I know it's also not the highest rated, which is crazy. But I know it didn't do like that well, but over the years, it's definitely gotten a lot more attention, especially bringing back characters like Kirby, and she wants to come back even more. And honestly, I kind of wish 5 would have focused on Kirby, following Kirby after the events of that, and maybe somebody even tormenting her or something, because she was a survivor. There would have been some things. I think Sydney would have been okay after 4. I think that would have been like she went off and did her own thing. Like, she closed the chapter, because it started with being so close to home because of the boyfriend and the motives and all that, how that was affecting like his home and all this. And then now it had, actually, the calls coming from inside the house, the bond by blood, and how it was another family member. And then she did all that and was like, yo, I'm going my own way. I'm gonna go live my life. And she honestly could have. I think it would have been a good ending for her. I don't like 2. I really, really don't like 2. And then 3 is just stupid. It's just like stupid fun. But I mean, hey, it's whatever. But another thing I really wanted to shout out is Hayden Panettiere. She actually brought up Harvey Weinstein, and she wasn't outright saying mean things, but she was definitely not hiding the fact of the man that Harvey Weinstein turned out to be. And yeah, I thought that was very admirable that she spoke about that at the panel, because I think they kind of tend to, I guess, avoid like sensitive topics and stuff like that whenever they're having these panels and stuff. So I don't know. It was just very surprising, because obviously we never see anybody really touch on anything. But no, 4, amazing. I highly recommend it if you guys haven't seen it. A lot of the characters are like likable. There's really cool things about it. I mean, we even have a character that's live streaming and stuff, and that was definitely ahead of the game. Now it's so normal for just people to be walking around streaming their everyday lives. They could be doing anything. You got people who are just streaming while they're working. You got people like me. I used to stream when I would game, when I have free time and I'm not doing anything. That's what I would be doing. Now that's the normal. We have meta glasses, dude. We have people who are live streaming and recording videos with their glasses, my guy. That is crazy that that's a thing. And in the movie, there's a guy just walking around with a headset that's just constantly streaming. And he actually ends up recording like his own death and all that stuff. And that's another big point that they were talking about. Jill and Charlie, they actually wanted to record their killings because they wanted people to see what they went through. Because in the first one with Sydney and all that, they only heard about it. And of course, hearing about those things, especially in the 90s and stuff, like, yeah, it's going to be a big deal. But you got to one up it nowadays. Nowadays, you got to you got to see it and be like, oh shit, this is what somebody went through. Because it's so normal nowadays. We hear about, unfortunately, where people get murdered, accidental bombings, and like war and all this other stuff, or just like assaults or anything like that. You can hear about it and people are just like, damn, like, fuck, that sucks. Like, that happened. It's so normal now, unfortunately, because of the state of the world that we're in. But it's different seeing it. Seeing it makes it completely different, and people empathize way more because it's real, it's raw. And you got platforms like TikTok and Twitter where that's just really, you can see those things. I mean, granted, they may not be up for long, but you will see some gruesome shit. I've been on the internet for a long time, like at this point, and I've seen a lot of crazy things. And there's people older than me that have seen just as much, or even like maybe like tenfold, and just way worse stuff. It's gruesome, and it makes perfect sense for the movie, man. They really nail it. So that's what's like super crazy about how Wes's last movie really hit the nail on the head of just where we were going. And it's unfortunate he never got to see like the world that we live in now. I wouldn't even imagine what he would be doing with Scream or anything like that, because of him trying to really capture the moment. And I think he did that with Scream 4. I think it captures like the humor, the language, and it predates some of that anyway. It really knew the trajectory that we were going as a society. And obviously not intentional. I don't think he was some like all-seeing eye type of dude, but he saw the writing on the wall, and he did very well with that, him and Kevin Williamson. And it's crazy to think about. And I feel like with the state of these last movies, oh look, sorry, tired, been staying up a lot lately, but I think with the last state of this trilogy, I think things would have been completely different. And I honestly think he would not be happy about anything that's going on. And I'm not trying to push my political beliefs on him or anything, but I just feel like none of this stuff is stuff Wes would have stood for, at least by everything you hear about the guy. He wouldn't have liked how anything went down. So that's just me personally. So I don't know if I'll ever actually see Scream 7. If you've seen it, by all means, please let me know what you think. I'm curious, and I really want to know your opinions on Scream 4 as well, and even the original. Just tell me anything, like cool facts or just stories you may have tied to like these. I'd really love to know. But yeah, no, but it's been a fun weekend. Everything's revolving around Scream right now, and that's why I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put another episode I had on the back burner, because I'm in the mood to talk about Scream. Everything's going on right now. That's my main focus. And obviously I got my Scream Ghostface mask right there. It's the 25th anniversary for the original Scream, and I'm trying to get as much of the OG cast as I can. Like I said, I feel like ones I will probably never get is just Drew and yeah, Drew Barrymore, and who is the other OG I was thinking of? Courtney Cox. I feel like I'll probably never get their signatures, which, I mean, I hate Gail Weathers, dude. I hate her character so fucking much, but Courtney Cox plays the character super well. It's a good character. It's well acted and everything, but holy shit, I cannot stand her character, but that's kind of her point. And then David Arquette, he was so cool. Him as Dewey. He had a really good progression going on right there. And I sometimes forget how goofy he kind of is in the movies, because obviously I grew up watching Scary Movie as well, and Scary Movie 1 is amazing, and it kind of blends sometimes with my little mind. I kind of mix the movies because of how closely they were following. So there are times where I get surprised, like, oh yeah, Scream is actually like a serious movie. Yeah, there's some funny parts in it, but no, this is gruesome. This is like fucked up what's happening right now. Like, you got her boyfriend and his best friend or lover. I mean, however you guys really want to point it. I think there's potential like for some stuff there. But you got these guys who killed all of her friends and one of them, their significant other, and they're tormenting and laughing at this girl who's supposed to be like 18, this child, about how they like raped and murdered her mom the year before. That is fucking mental, dude. That is tough. That is, I don't know. That's brutal. So it's like, oh shit, there's actually a lot of weight to what's happening right now. That's pretty fucking gnarly. And yeah, Scream 4 doesn't shy away from that. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. Jill kills her own mom. Okay. Well, I don't know if she kills her own mom, but like I said, I think Charlie did a lot of the killing. I think Jill maybe killed like, I think like 2 people. Yeah, because she killed Charlie. No, she killed like 3 people. She killed Charlie. She killed her boyfriend. And I think definitely one of the chicks in the opening, of course. Which crazy opening, by the way, like pretty meta with the whole movies and like how they start off. Because you got like stab, I think 7. I think you got stab 6 and 7 opening, and that creates like a whole like little like wormhole and time divergent thing. And even they talk about how bad the movies get and how like stab 5 had like time, you know, they have something to do with time jumps. Ugh. So it's like a lot of shit like that, little weird things like that. And I dude, I don't know, but the kills were gruesome and everything. It was pretty gnarly, and I think that's another thing, because we watched Scream at this Airbnb with some friends, because you know, one of our friends hasn't seen it in a long time, and then the rest of us, we just love Scream, so we just decided to watch it. And they forgot in the opening how like brutal it was, how they hung up Casey Becker, and they had like her guts spilling out and all that other stuff. That's pretty gnarly, and that's just the opening scene. That's pretty crazy. And it was actually supposed to be way more gruesome than that, because obviously when it's the reveal when she's strung up, how it does that like zoom in, almost kind of like an Evil Dead like camera, you know, movement, where they zoom in on her body, they go all the way up to her, and it's all done really quick. It's fast forwarded. All of that was supposed to be like slow. That whole way there was just supposed to be slow, like zooming in, and you just hearing the mom like wailing and stuff. But you know, the rating committee and all that, you know, the parental stuff, they're like, that's brutal as fuck. We cannot have that. You need to like cut that. And so they just decided to edit it to where it's super quick, and then boom. So you get the idea, but you're not focusing on it so much, like so intensely. And so they changed all that, and it definitely changed the mood. It changed the vibe of that, but it still let you know how things ended, and that's dope. And if you guys are wondering why the fuck I'm having like this pen that's like full of a white powder, this I would hope you know. I've definitely talked about these before, but another one of my favorite horror movies is The Faculty, another Wes Craven movie that's like an alien body snatcher. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers meets The Thing meets Scream. So that's what that is. And yeah, man, this is guaranteed to jack you up. So if you remember that from my old intro, the very ending, that's Zeke, the character Zeke, played by Josh Hartnett. And this was his thing. He was just selling drugs, which was just like caffeine pills and stuff. Teenagers are fucking dumb, so he was just selling it, and that's why people were snorting and stuff. So yeah, I'm playing with these because my girlfriend got these as props for me a long time ago, and I recently found them again, and I'm so happy. So you guys are gonna see me, because I talk with my hands a lot and move around, that you're gonna see me twirling these things around from time to time. See, I'm messing up my words and stuff, but yeah, that's these movies. I really enjoy them. I want people to check them out. I mean, who hasn't seen Scream at this point? But with everything going on, I know some people don't want to support Scream 7 and all that, and that's fine. There's like little things here and there. Nobody's 100% in the Scream universe of being like cool and all that. Some people are, but I think everybody's like a little questionable with some stuff here and there. Like I love Matthew Lillard and supported him, and he's talked about a lot of cool like political things at panels and all that. But him signing on, and same thing with Nev Campbell signing on for Seven, especially when they wouldn't pay her and all of that, but and so she declined to come back, but they get rid of the leads, and then all of a sudden they have money to pay her, and then she's more than willing to take it, which I mean, hey, you're an actor, work's got to work. I get that, you got to make your money, get your bag and all that. That's cool. I get it. But it just feels like a little scummy, especially for what she was standing up for and all that. And then Matthew Lillard, it kind of gets the same way. It gets a little stale because like, dude, for the most part, you're on the right side of things. But then he like refuses to acknowledge any of that. So it's like, that kind of sucks, man. That's a little disappointing. So it gets like a whole thing. But I don't want anybody to say horror isn't political or anything like that. The genre always has. That's the whole point of horror. It's to talk about taboo subjects and to make people talk about things that didn't even really want to talk about because of the underlying tones and all this other stuff. So yeah, you just may not pay attention, and I mean, I guess that's okay, but I feel like you can't fully be a fan of something. And just like the people who like Star Wars, but then they're like super like Trumpy and all that other stuff. It's like, bro, that makes no sense. You're literally for the Empire. Make it make sense, my guy. Like it's the same thing. It's like one of those things. I feel like there are horror movies that have that underlying like social commentary or political commentary, and it's something I think everybody should kind of get. And I feel like that's something a lot of the actors reflect, but then there are some actors that just don't. And I don't know. It's sad, but it is what it is. But I feel like I could go more into the movies. I just don't really know what else to like fully talk about it because I like covered pretty much the main parts, and I really want people to check it out. But no, there was. I'm mainly just kind of just reminiscing over this weekend. I had an incredible time. We saw so many people. We saw Jack Quaid, which if you don't know him, he's from The Boys. He's also from Scream 5. He was one of the killers there. And it was really cool. He was in Companion as well. I talked about that before. That was with Sophie Thatcher. And we have a Companion poster that we wanted to get signed, but man, we just didn't have the time and all that. So it's all over the place. But we're trying to go to conventions like a little more. We got like 2 more. My girlfriend really wants to meet Brad Dourif, big Chucky fan. And honestly, I'm just gonna be there for whenever she gets the signature, to where I could just say hi and all that. But I'm gonna let her take the picture. That's all her. That's she's a bigger fan of that. I love Chucky too. Don't get me wrong. Child's Play is amazing, and then Bride of Chucky is definitely up there for me. I grew up with that one a lot. So those movies are there. But if there's anybody to really meet from those movies, I would love to see Brad Dourif. It would be cool. It'd be awesome to just hear him talk in person. And that's something I never would have thought, even as a kid watching those movies, that I'm going to meet that guy one day. That's pretty crazy. But Jennifer Tilly. I would love to see Jennifer Tilly. That would be cool because it's Jennifer Tilly, bro. Like, I don't know. There's not a whole lot. I mean, there is a lot you could say, but there's not a whole lot. Like, I could as well. I don't know. I just want to see her just be like, yo, loved you, man. And good on her, by the way. I know we're completely changing topics, but hey, this is a podcast. And I'm just going to go from thing to thing. Good on her, especially with how shallow fucking Hollywood can be. She was, I think, 30 or in her 30s. I want to say 30 to 33, somewhere between there, when she did Bride of Chucky. And that woman looked amazing, and good for her, dude. That is sick that she became like that, like alternative just like horror icon, like women want to be her, and that's what's so crazy. And she was in her 30s, and then you got people who are just afraid of aging nowadays, because man, I'm I like seeing people age normally and not having a whole lot of work and stuff because we saw Shannon Elizabeth. Okay, Shannon Elizabeth, of course, you should recognize that name. She was fuck, what was her name in American Pie? Was it Vanya? I think it was Vanya. I could be wrong, but I think so. She was a foreign exchange student and student in that film. She was in Jay Silent Bob Strikes Back. She was Boo Boo Kitty Fuck. Um, you got 13 Ghosts. She was in there, and she was in Scary Movie 1. So she's been in some stuff, and it was great. She seems like such a sweetheart, and she's aged like so well. My girlfriend and I were just complimenting that, like, yo, she's like so pretty for her age and everything. And it's like, yo, we need more people just aging normally. I'm almost I'm almost 30, man. So it's kind of crazy to really think about, but I don't see myself ever getting any type of work done like that. Then again, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a fucking nobody. But even everyday people are still getting these types of things. So like it's a little gnarly and concerning to think about, you know. But you guys won't have to worry about me looking like balloon face or anything like that anytime soon. But yeah, man, I just want to see people age gracefully. Like, you know, we got Skeet Ulrich that looks fine. Nev looks good. I don't think she's had any work, but I can't fully remember her up close like that. But she looks good. You got Matthew Lillard, who just looks like a really old, like, dad, like, and he just acts like such a like dad, but he seems really cool. So I was like, nah, there's some dope things right there. Everybody needs to be okay with aging. Okay, it's a beautiful thing to age and get old. That is the point. It is remarkable we've made it that far, especially with how fucked this world can get. So it's cool. But going back to like meeting some of the cast, Emma Roberts too. She looks like very nice. I know she was a little problematic before because you know her whole thing of like abusing Evan Peters and all that. So that's pretty crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, like it was kind of cool just seeing her. But it's like that is like a conflicting thing. It's like, damn, we know like you beat your boyfriend. That's so crazy. Like that's definitely not cool. And she's so fucking tiny, dude. She must have like a Napoleon complex or something. Cause like wow, that is such a tiny woman. And same thing with Hayden Panettiere. And I would love to see Hayden Panettiere in more horror, in all honesty, because I still absolutely love her as Kirby in this one. She was great in Heroes. And if you guys never seen that show, that was a great sci-fi show. And it had some creepy moments, man. Like things got tense, with Siler and all that, him going around just murdering like other people with powers, and she was one of them, and how she got tortured and stuff. It got pretty gnarly, man. That was a dope show. It was unfortunate the writer strikes really fucked that up. But hey, the writers need to get paid, man. Everybody deserves to get paid for the work that they're doing. And yeah, she was great in that. And then she played, I think her name was Sam in Until Dawn, the video game. That game is amazing, top notch. If you haven't played it, play it. She is like the main protagonist in there. Phenomenal. So many dope people in that game, dude. It's such a great cast. And what's also cool, a little fun fact, a sequel to that game, The Quarry, so made by the same people, is another like horror game that, is very cinematic and you get that vibe. David Arquette was in there. That was pretty cool. And then Ted Raimi was in there as well. So they really knew what they were doing when they're casting like these like horror movies and stuff like that, or horror games and stuff. So they got some really cool people. But no, it's definitely something to check out, like those horror movies. And speaking of, I know I'm just going all over the place, but I'm just here to like talk about these things. Whenever we were watching it last night, Scream 4, I completely forgot one of the scenes. They're watching Shaun of the Dead. Charlie, no, not Charlie, Kirby and Jill, they were watching Shaun of the Dead, and I was absolutely love that. Shaun of the Dead is so great. That's probably a movie I'll talk about one day, who knows, but it is such a great zombie flick, and I can't imagine that feeling that Edgar Wright must have like had whenever he probably saw this and saw that his movie was in a Wes Craven film, especially an iconic series like Scream. That's such a huge compliment, dude. Like that is amazing. You know, that's so fucking cool. And there's like a list of horror movies that I really would love to talk about, but I don't know when I'm gonna talk about it because I had a script a long time ago now for Scream, not Scream one, for Scary Movie 1, especially now with the trailer for 6 being out. And it's like, man, it actually looks like we're returning the formula, that it's going to be good. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I love the Wayans Bros, and I'm glad they're getting everything back together. Anna Faris is coming back. It's so cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. So part of me thinks, damn, I kind of want to talk about that movie as well, because that's so great. And I've seen Bobby. Bobby is actually back in that movie. I can't remember the actor's name for the fucking life of me. I think it's like Jason Abram or something like that. But yeah, he was in Terrifier as well. I think it was Terrifier 3, yeah. And no, we saw him at one of the conventions. It was Spooky Empire, and we were standing because we knew this area that because the celebrities, they just walk around sometimes, and you just have to like pay attention, and you may notice somebody walking around. They just walk through the crowd because a lot of people aren't paying attention. But we started to notice where they were coming from, so we waited out just to see who comes out, and then we could just say hi really quick. And we were all standing there talking, and this was, I think, last year's. And Bobby starts walking by, and I noticed, and I'm like, oh my god, guys! I was like, it's fucking Bobby. And one of our friends was like, who the fuck is Bobby? As soon as he walks by, and then he just turns around and goes, what's up? And just keeps walking. It was the funniest shit, and we all died laughing. And we're like, bro, there's always that one friend that just says something a little too loud. Or like when you tell somebody, hey, don't look now, but like there's this and that. And they're like, where? And they just turn and look around, or they say something out loud. That's what he did, but it was so funny, and it paid off so well. It was definitely one of the highlights of that weekend, because that moment was just so fucking funny. But there's that I would love to talk about, because dude, I quote that movie too fucking much. One of my favorite lines is after they hit the guy on the road, and they find the boot, and Shannon Elizabeth's like, we hit a boot, and then you got Greg who's like, where's the foot? You know, like, where the fuck's the foot? And it's just like the stupidest fucking shit ever, dude. And it's so great because I love that and stupid humor. And it's cool seeing him come back as well. Like, you're seeing a lot of the OGs come back. Even the guy who played Doofy is coming back. And dude, it's, oh man, I'm so ready for Scream. Scream, god damn it, Scary Movie 6. You know, I'm so ready for that. And a little fun fact, and I know I've talked about this before, but I think like the original title for Scream was Scary Movie, but then they went with Scream. And then I guess the Wayne Bros just somehow knew that. I was like, fuck it, Scary Movie. And there you go. The rest is history, you know, like it's good shit. So it's really, really dope that we got all that type of stuff. But another movie I've been wanting to talk about, I don't know how I'm going to talk about it, I'm just going to be dick riding it like crazy, is Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. That was a beautiful movie, like a very, very beautiful movie. I can't even really consider it horror. It was just a beautiful movie. It's definitely like more of a gothic feel, because obviously that's like the vibe he likes, but it was so beautiful. Jacob Elordi as you know, like the monster and all that was so great. And then of course, as one of my favorite scream queens ever, Mia Goth, she's in there. She did a great job, but Jacob Elordi completely stole the show. It was amazing. But no, there's like that. And I recently watched Misery for the first time, and I know it's like an 80s movie. Recently watched it. Kathy Bates, holy shit. We watched it because, you know, sadly Rob Reiner passed away, you know, RIP to the legend. I'm mainly familiar with you know, his movie like Stand By Me, and then also his role in The Wolf of Wall Street. him being Jordan Belfort's dad, and it's so fucking funny. Where he's like $60,000 like worth of sides and all that other stuff. Like that whole scene, dude. He was great. I absolutely loved him in that movie. But we have this local theater around here. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's called the Enzion. They do a lot of really dope showing. It's a community funded theater. I really don't know where else you would find something like this, but it's a dope set of people. Everybody's always really nice. They have an amazing bar. They play dope movies. They have nice film events and stuff. They even do like kids, like teenagers who are like trying to get their foot in the door, like doing movies. So they have like a teen, high school like film festivals to where they can show off their stuff. And you never know, man. You might see like the next like John Carpenter or something like that. Like it's people really trying. And so it's really community funded. I don't go out there as much as I would like to because it is a little far from where I live, and just finding the time because full-time jobs and shit like that. So it's a little meh, but it's dope. They got amazing food, great popcorn as well. But yeah, they were hosting these show times of Rob Reiner films, because of his passing, so they wanted to do that. And the first one was Misery. Never watched it. My girlfriend's been trying to show me for a long time now. And I was like, all right, we could check it out then. And we did. We scored some tickets, went and watched it. I was captivated the whole time. That is an amazing like a horror movie. Obviously, I knew like some things, but just watching it go down and Kathy Bates acting, holy shit, dude. She really did it. I completely understand the hype, and I'm more familiar with her in like other projects and stuff, but wow, she nailed it. It was amazing. And I was like, dude, I gotta talk about that movie. I feel like I got some stuff I could definitely like chime in on that. And so there's just like so many movies I want to talk about. There's even movies that are like not horror that I would love to talk about as well. But no, that was something. And that's definitely going to be another one. But I don't know what the next episode's going to be. I feel like because of my little Scream craze right now, it's like back in my veins all over again. I feel like it might be a scary movie, but I'm not sure. I am going to get more consistent with this since now I got all this equipment up and running. I got newer equipment. So things are coming. All right. I got stuff in the chamber. I just actually got to take the time and do it. But these will start to be more consistent. Believe me. I mean that. But no, we got more conventions and stuff. I'm definitely going to be talking about some things I see like there. Like I got MegaCon coming up probably next month that we're going to be going to, and we're going to try to catch people. We want to see Carl Urban. He was Dredd, and then of course he plays Butcher from The Boys. Really, really want to see him. And Elijah Wood. We really want to see Elijah Wood, who played Casey in The Faculty, which the moment we go to talk to him, I'm going to be asking him about that. And I'm most likely going to try to... I found one on eBay. Like, I love having official movie posters. I don't like reprints. If I have to get one, I mean, sure. Because some movies are just damn near impossible to try to get some. But I'm definitely going to get one of The Faculty because I absolutely love that movie. And I would love to get him to sign it. Dream unicorn to get it signed would be Josh Hartnett. Brother, I was crushing on that dude. That is a handsome motherfucker. I love Josh Hartnett, man. So that would be really sick. If I get him and Elijah Wood on that poster, cinema. I am set. I'm turning into that person that's just gonna have signed shit around the house. I don't really want to be, but we have the money to do it now, since now I got a full-time job, and it's been really nice having those things. So it's like, damn, I actually feel like an adult. I have adult money. I can actually start doing this shit. So we're definitely going to start doing that. And I wish I could do more recordings of like those types of things, but they get a little weird about like, actually recording all that stuff. But who knows? Maybe if I ever get like meta glasses or something. I've thought about it. You boys thought about it because I love like futuristic type tech and stuff. I just never really been able to afford it. But now I'm like, it would be cool. I'm not going to lie. It would be really cool. You know, I don't know. It would be really fucking sick. I know that much. But alrighty, guys, that's going to be about where I'm going to end these things. I'm going to try to keep these things about an hour, to where I don't go too long. But, and I'm saying this as a collector and stuff. I've been buying like a lot of stuff lately, and the imperfections are something you definitely want to look for. I don't need something super pristine or anything, but I kind of want to leave you with a cookie's fortune. All right, so this is just what I'm gonna end it on, and I just want to say, a cheap copy is nowhere near compared as a flawed original. Do with that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. But until next time, be excellent, be kind, subscribe to the channel, podcast, whatever the fuck. God damn it, I'm rusty. Fuck it.